Good evening. It's another time in the classroom, and we began something yesterday, of which we couldn't round off. But today, let's see how far we can go. All right, as touching the what we've been trying to look at, which is inner gnosis. All right. In gnosis. And I think yesterday we stopped at looking at the nature of the human mind, okay, how that one needs to have a level of freedom so as to be able to inquire, all right, into reality, okay, which eventually, is supposed to result into this self-realization, okay, or self-actualization. And then somehow, without this freedom, without some level of independence in terms of thought, in terms of you having your own space, okay, in terms of you being able to freely look into reality, for what it is from the standpoint of you, from the standpoint of what is happening within the space of your experience, okay. You see, you may lack you lack the authenticity, all right, the authenticity of truth itself, because it's not just about what I'm saying that you think is the truth, okay, but then are you saying it, all right? Is it happening within your space, okay? Are you witnessing what I'm talking about within your space? You see, I may talk about something, but then you must be a witness. I can't be a witness for you. You must be a witness, all right, to that which is spoken about, all right, within your space, within the experience of what is, the experience of what is taking place, in your own space. And so it's so important that in understanding, all right, in coming to know, like we said yesterday, there has to be a level of freedom, okay? There has to be this freedom, all right? This freedom. This freedom, okay, the nature of this freedom is such that, you see, you are not merely looking at things from the standpoint of people's opinion, from the standpoint of people's judgment, you see, from the standpoint of people's dogma, all right, or creed, okay, but that you see, everything is subject to you. You see, you are the authority. You see, you are the authority that authenticates, any body of knowledge. And so, nothing is being forced on you, all right? And if that is the case, if that's not the case with you, sorry to say, you are really under, maybe a heavy yoke of manipulation. Okay? Nothing is being forced on you. All right? Everything is subject to you. You are the man, you are the authority. All right? And everything derived is credence, because it's something that is relating to you. All right? You see, the truth I know is not what sets you free. And you really must understand. The truth I know, you see, is not what sets you free. But it is the truth you know. The truth you've really come to comprehend. All right? That inner gnosis. You see, this inner gnosis is personal. It's personal. It's personal. Personal, realization. For you, not me. All right? What is for me is for me. And so, you need freedom to inquire, all right, into the nature of truth, the nature of reality, God, and even you, okay? Because somehow, you see, the you that exists within the construct of your own mind, all right, can be a summation of people's opinion about yourself, okay? You go to, you know, at home, you are told who you are, you know, in your religious places, you are told who you are. And so basically, you grew up being told who you are, all right? And so it's possible that what the self that you think of as it relates to you might just be a summation of people's opinion and judgment concerning you. But a time comes in your own life where you need to retreat, all right? You retreat within your own space. You retreat within your own space, all right, to understand, all right, to contemplate, to see into, to inquire, who am I, all right? And you see, like we pointed out yesterday, the nature of this inquiry is always sponsored by, you know, questioning. You begin to ask sincere questions about things, all right? And in asking sincere questions about things, you know, somehow lots of people, you know, can become uncomfortable, all right, with that, okay? But then you don't give up. You don't feel weird, all right, because you are asking sincere questions that are coming to you, you know, secretly. And you see, it's important, okay? We said questions are so important in the evolving of one's consciousness, okay? In the evolving of one's consciousness. As you evolve by having to question the things you've been told, by having to question the things you've been taught, by also having to question your belief. You see? All right? So you get to really understand. You get to really, you know, you are brought face to face with reality, unmediated. Okay? You are brought face to face with truth, unmediated. Okay? You know, truth is universal. Truth is cosmic. All right? Truth does not belong to one religion. Truth is not altogether contained in the creed, in the religious creed. Truth is everything. All right? Truth is everything. And so you really must understand, truth is everything. Okay? And no one has an exclusive possession of truth. Okay? Truth belongs to no one. All right? And so it's not what is owned by somebody else. It's not what is true about that person that is not true about you. Of course, when you know, we have religious emphasis, all right, that is exclusive in nature, okay? And so we talk about truth, but that truth, all right, is only true, you know, as far as a set of people are concerned, but for the others it's not true. You see, such chasm only exists in the minds of people. Such separation only exists in the mind of people. But in reality, we are all one. Truth is the spirit of all things. Okay? Truth is all things. Okay? Truth is you and I. Alright? And so, realizing this, like I pointed out yesterday, is what Jesus said. Alright? Is the gnosis. You shall know the truth, and the truth itself, all right, shall liberate you. Okay? And I think the salvation theology in Hinduism, all right, basically, you know, is what is called liberating knowledge. You know, liberating knowledge, all right, in Hinduism, okay, the salvation, you know, theology, okay, or the salvation, you know, the concept of salvation in Hinduism, all right, it's really is related to a liberating knowledge. A liberating knowledge that wakes one up to the Atman, alright? The Atman. The Atman, that pure self. Okay? That pure self that is identical to to the universal self, or to the universal principle, to the Brahman. Alright? And so it's always about knowing. Alright? It has never been about having to believe. Alright? Believing, alright, believing in a given religious figure. It's about knowing you. Alright? Knowing the Christ you. Knowing the heart man. Alright? And so why is it called a liberating knowledge? Okay, because it is the knowledge, all right, that has to do with the self. It is an unmediated knowledge of the self. Okay, it is a realization of the self. All right, and I think when you look at the Kabbalistic tree of life, all right, according to Hasidism, okay, we have in the Sephirot what is called the heart. The heart is knowledge, okay, but it's not the knowledge of something external, okay. It is the knowledge of the self, all right. It is the knowledge of the self, and so the liberating knowledge, all right, is the heart, according to the Sephirot, okay, is the heart, and the heart is an unmediated knowledge of you. Okay? It is a realizing of you. Alright? It has nothing to do with the knowing of something that brings about your own salvation. It is actually the knowing of you in all respect. Alright? In all respect. And if you are not being shown this, the key of knowledge is taken away from you. Okay, the key of knowledge is taken away from you, and that's what the religious system, is about. The religious system is being perfected in the act of taking away the key of knowledge, all right, from people, from the masses. And so the only way by which people can be manipulated, can be brutalized, all right, is to enslave them, is to make a slave out of them. Okay, is to make a slave out of them. And so knowledge or revelation, understanding, all right, of who you truly are, all right, of the Christ. Oh wow, this is so beautiful. The knowledge, the understanding of you as the Christ, all right, the understanding of you as the Atman. Alright, that pure self ought to constitute the foundation, alright, upon which you operate as a human being. Upon which you operate as a human being. You see? And let me tell you, the character of this knowledge is such that, you see, when I say the pure self, it is truly pure in all respect. And so when we're talking about the Christ, the innate Christ, the Christ self, when we're talking about the Atman, all right, in Hinduism, all right, we are talking about that pure self, okay? And so, what does that really imply? It implies that you are intrinsically pure, okay? And I think this may not sit well, with some Christian folks, because, for certain doctrine to be true, for certain, Christian dogma to hold sway to be true, all right, some things has to be established. And one of the things that has to be established is that you and I were born intrinsically corrupted, okay? We were born pervert in our nature. But then you see, the understanding of the Atman, the understanding of the innate Christ, all right, doesn't support, all right, such false claim that you were born intrinsically corrupt and pervert. Okay, you are pure. In fact, all forms of life is pure. Okay, and I think it's part of the basis, all right, upon which an Hindu sense of value for all lives is founded upon. When you realize that all forms of life is intrinsically pure, intrinsically one, that enhances your experience within the space of diversity. Okay, it becomes the basis for compassion. Just realize, just simply knowing that we are one, all right, it produces a greater level of heart shift, and that informs it informs the nature, the experience of human interaction within this space. Okay, one of the things that is wrong with our world is the illusion in our minds. All right, the illusion in our minds, the words. We create wars, that has never been there. All right, we erect dividing, camps among ourselves that wasn't there right from the beginning. And so human problems are basically created by humans. All right, and I think one of the issue is that you see, we often talk about solution that is never needed. Now, this is what I mean. When you create the problem that is never there, you seek for solutions that was never needed. I don't know if you follow it. See, when you create a problem that is not there, definitely you're going to look forward to a solution that was never needed. All right? And this is what is wrong with the human society. Is what is wrong with our religious system. We create problems upon problems upon problems, and then we begin to pray to God and try to want to see into whatever solution you think is that. But then you see everything is truly pure. All right, and I love a particular portion in scripture that says that unto him that is pure, all things are what? Yes, unto him that is pure, all things are pure. And I think in Buddhism, all right, it is the height of wisdom. All right, it is the height of wisdom when one begins to see things for what they are. When you begin to see things for what you are, it is considered, all right, it's considered wisdom, it's considered enlightenment. In fact, that's what is meant by enlightenment. Being able to see things for what they are. Okay, being able to recognize things for what they are. All right. It is an inner vision that pierces through the human facade to see, all right, the intrinsic reality, all right, of who we are. Okay? And so, being enlightened doesn't make you anything special. Being enlightened doesn't add to you. All right? Enlightenment is simply a set of eyes that sees what has always been there. All right? And of course, it becomes the foundation that, upon which your experience, you have your own experiences, okay? And so when we begin to recognize things for what they are, you wouldn't need, most of the solutions you are looking for today, all right? But then we have a problem already, but no one should ever think that this problem is intrinsic. It's not intrinsic to you and I. All right? It's not something that you were born into. It's not something you were born with, sorry, but you really have always been pure. Okay? You really have always been pure. And I think that in some streams of mystical thoughts, okay, it is generally understood that a child is born, in a state of tabula rasa, okay, by John Locke. All right, I think John Locke said something like that, okay, and somehow every child is programmed. For some we are programmed to be like, the society, to look like, the opinion and the judgment, of our environment. Okay, and but then can we really do without programming? Everybody's programmed. All right, whether you like it or not, you are still programmed. You see, but the issue is this: when others program you, it's really called slavery and manipulation. But when you program yourself, it is called true freedom. All right. However, you really can't do without being programmed. But then, how should we be programmed? We must be programmed by this unconditional knowing of the self. It's more of like a programming that is by affirmation. All right. A programming that is by affirmation, affirming that which is already there. Okay, that which is already true with you. You're not becoming this, you are. And so when a child is cultivated, along that path, all right, I think when that becomes the default, the default state of the collective, we're going to really have a profound, human community that blossom in peace, that blossom in perfect happiness. All right, but then we are programmed to look like something other than who we truly are. We are told we are that, we believe it. Like I told us, you believed you are a sinner. You were made to believe so. You were made to believe you are a saint. You were made to believe you are a sinner. You were made to believe all kinds of things. But a time should come in your life where you have a moment of recollection. So to know you, all right, know you as an unmediated form of experience, as an unmediated, knowing, all right. And so I think I'm going to round up soon. Okay. I remember talking about this, still on this, the heart, all right, still on this self-realization, all right. So I think that's really so important, okay. It's so important, and so when you know that this is you, you've always been pure, this self is pure, this innate Christ that I am, all right, I've always been, all right, and it's intrinsically pure. I mean, it's going to be a different experience, all right, with you. So I think I will be, stopping right now. Okay, maybe some other time we'll look deeply into this. Okay, so just trying to lay the foundation step by step. So thank you for taking your time, all right, to join me in this classroom. You are welcome.